Hello, everyone.
This is like a fourth time saying it. I've had technical difficulties today. Apologies, but hello.
We are back. Lauren and Brogan, two girls, one ticket.
I had a way better intro. I was talking about ripping my Coors Light instead of a Modelo, but just mood was killed because my microphone clearly is not working, or it's user error. I don't know.
She also had to tell us the mountains were still cold.
Yeah, I did. I was talking about how they're still blue.
Mountains are still blue.
That's the only proper way to drink it. I really am celebrating America after watching USA men's hockey absolutely annihilate.
USA. So much to talk about there. Brogan, how was your week? What are the updates? Highlights?
Week was good, but I heard you weren't running your hills that you were talking about.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know I was going to have eyes on me.
Eyes everywhere.
Everywhere. So I say last week that I'm going to run my hills on my route. And I haven't skipped one yet. And then I see my dad and he's like, yeah, I just saw Jeff Sakin. And he was like, just listened to Lauren and Brogan and heard that Lauren was going to be running these hills and I just saw her walking. I literally was like, there's no chance. And then I was worried, like, who did he think was me? Like, what did she look like? Like, she probably was like way out of shape or something and not running. Then I was like, do I not know the definition of a hill? I'm like replaying my route in my mind. And so I said, next time you see Jeff, please ask him what hill I was not running. So yesterday they had an encounter and my dad kindly asked on my behalf and he said it was just right here, right outside the gate by the country club. My dad's like, that's not a hill. So we cleared it up.
No idea hills could be objective. That is hilarious.
Hilarious, because the hills I'm talking about are straight hills, like
I think you need to
real
be a little bit more
steep
descriptive.
inclines. I guess so. I'm gonna have to video my route for everyone to know what hills are. But
God's not messing around. You better be adding that to make sure
pretty
you're making up for the 40 days.
right. Did we land on where you're gonna be? I still see your beer in your hand, so we know it's not
Oh,
alcohol.
it's definitely not alcohol. No, I was like, oh, I'm going to try not to drink during the week. I have this weird craving sometimes for instant ramen, and it is the most horrific thing for you. I don't know if you ever got down like a TikTok um, tangent or whatever, but yeah, so I'm not eating
I
instant
have to say
ramen.
I
It's
don't
so
have
bad for
ramen on my
you.
feed, but I do know that the sodium level, speaking of sodium, if you're worried about
Yeah.
electrolytes, is next level in
I cut element
ramen.
out because it's too much sodium, and I added
Exactly.
instant ramen. But no, I'm taking the instant ramen out. I just get a little lazy sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'll add boiling water to this, and it's yummy, but it's not good for you. So I'm on my health journey.
Okay, I like it.
I've been ripping AG1s. Have you ever had athletic greens before?
I haven't, and I've heard great things.
I
People
haven't really
swear by
noticed a
them.
different, but it's more, I feel like a healthier person. I
Yeah,
walk
it's part
around
of
with
the
my
routine.
AG1s and I'm like, look, everybody, I'm drinking greens. This is how I start
Status.
my morning. Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Put a little creatine in there. I don't know if you've ever done creatine. I started ripping that as well. I'm ripping everything
Well, I'm
lately.
starting
So,
to realize that there is something to all of this, and I need to get on the bandwagon. I think I want to kind of start dabbling in some of this red light therapy. It's supposed to be very good for the
wow.
skin. Do that. But on top of that, so I had my tennis match on Thursday that I told you about.
Tell us everything.
And my takeaway from that was I'm subbing for this super champ highest level country club team. I hadn't played since the last
Oh,
season
is
match
that
that
why
I
you didn't
subbed
want us
for.
to come? You were embarrassed you were going to get annihilated or
No, no,
what?
no, not that. I just like I'm subbing. It's like not even a thing. But you
Whatever.
could have come. I play my match and I was playing with this lady. I love her. She's great. Played at Stanford, older, but in great shape. You know, they all take it very seriously. So my takeaway was tennis shape is a whole different kind of shape. Like, thank God I'm
hmm
running my hills. That's helpful. But like actually playing a match is next level. And so we lost the first set 6-2, won the second
Mm.
set 6-3, and lost in the third 17-15 in a tiebreaker. And let me tell you, I was some kind of sore. I'm talking full body sore until like Saturday. I don't know what overtook me, but that was like, I need to really get going. And I will say that it was a close match. People were good, but I was a little bit disappointed and physically I could feel it. I've got another one tomorrow. So
Oh, do you?
If I could
When
start
and
some
where?
AG1
I
greens,
was gonna
I can
recommend maybe I can bring some and it'll really, power you up. I don't know.
exactly. Well, we'll see how it goes, but anyways, let's give it up for the USA.
That's a round of applause right there,
Round
baby.
of applause. Most gold medals ever won by Team USA at the Olympics.
I mean, I think we coulda had a couple actually, gold medals, actually, no, because that little Eileen Gu, whatever her freaking name is, she didn't win golds.
8 of the 12 gold medals were won by women. That's pretty impressive.
Badass.
Very,
Don't
very
sleep on us,
don't
guys.
sleep. First time ever that the USA, men's and women's, both swept golds in hockey. Also
Swept.
really cool.
Swept. I feel like it's like the
Swept.
curling. Did you see all the memes with the people curling? They would use the
Hilarious.
little vacuums the robot
Hilarious.
vacuums and use
They're like doing
their
like
mops.
yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
side
Everyone's
note.
like in their house doing it. Yeah, I see.
So, but they literally swept. They won the gold.
They did. Unbelievable. I have to say I did not watch the women's game, and I did tune into the men's, and it was such a good game.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, no, it was a really good game. It was
It
too
was
early
a
for
great
me.
g They won in their 4th period, which I was still kinda trying to learn the rules of hockey. I've watched hockey here and there, but haven't really followed it. 4th period is their overtime, essentially, and they ended up winning 3-2, and everyone went crazy, and people
Puck
lost
to the
heat.
mouth.
Puck to the
Yeah.
mouth, yes.
It's like a minute and 28 seconds, was it, where they hit that, Jack hit it in?
Yeah, I mean, I kept thinking that it was gonna drag out just because, it was already into the 4th period and, it had been so close the whole time, but it was really, really great, and 46 years to the day that the US men's hockey defeated Soviet Union for Miracle on Ice, which turned into, a movie, Miracle and all of that. Um
That's what Adam was trying to tell me he's like, "We're gonna watch that tonight." I genuinely haven't had no idea what he was talking about. Do you know what it is?
Oh, yeah, it's a great movie. It's like a super famous movie, you have to watch it.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Russians or something were able to play or not, and I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I think I need to
No,
watch
you'll
it."
have
So,
to watch it, and then Mike Rich, who is the screenwriter for the movie, is actually a close friend of my dad's and actually lives in the Willamette Valley area, super big wine guy,
ooh,
super
Pinot
cool
Noir.
guy, but, yeah, he's done all those movies, like Secretariat, Miracle, I think he did Cars,
Love
yeah, you'll have to watch
Cars.
it, yeah,
Life is a
but
highway. Sorry.
Nike did their ad, they tried to tie it in after they won, and it was like, "No miracles needed." Typical Nike,
Oh,
on
look
top
at
of their
that.
stuff.
Well, not really, as we could talk about later, but
Mm,
had a little
a
shortage.
little shortage, they missed their time for their merch, like, how do you not make enough US jerseys?
They miscalculated their judgment on the US men's hockey team.
And
And the
women's.
and
Yeah,
the women's, yeah.
exactly, like,
Sorry, ladies.
cancel them
Sorry,
out.
ladies.
Rogan, oh my goodness, they're gonna decline your invitation.
I know.
Uh, there was a big mess, and
They're
a
good
lot
at
of
declining, by the
fans
way.
were yeah, a lot of fans were upset about that, and just a huge miss on Nike's part, but good lesson going forward. But what an entrance back to the US for the men's hockey team. Did you see him land in Miami with the big water spray welcome and then
Then they hit
partying back at
11.
11?
You shoulda
Yes.
had your ones there with them.
Yeah, exactly. 11's been, really getting a lot of the crowds. And then, um, Pat McAfee picked up the tab, like a $150,000 tab for them as a little surprise. I thought that was very kind of him.
Just wanted to be included. There we go.
Yeah, there for the party, pay it forward, and then to get picked up from Miami in an Air Force plane and head to the State of the Union address. Pretty
I
cool.
mean,
Very American.
these guys are on cloud 9,
Nothing like
literally.
going from 11 to the White House.
That's the most American thing I've ever heard of. And they're
Yeah.
just ripping beers the whole way through. I was watching Jack in an interview, and he's got a full Corona in his hand, and he's like, one more," like, looking for another one already. I was like, "Line them up, baby."
So funny. Yeah, literally. But what those Hughes brothers, talented, lost a tooth, and the mom was a professional hockey player herself, so runs in the family. I guess it was like 12:30 in the morning and Quinn said he
Ah,
went over to Jack and was like, "Are you up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm dreaming about scoring the game winner." And then look at that.
just making dreams become reality over
Making
there.
dreams, just visualizing, getting that puck in the goal. My
That's what we love
favorite
to see.
part after the win, obviously everyone's been celebrating, but I loved how they brought Johnny Gaudreau's children on the ice for the picture with the team.
It was
I thought that
heartbreaking.
was so sweet and so sad. Obviously, he and his brother were tragically killed about 2 years ago in New Jersey, and it's site they were riding their bikes and got hit by a car. I mean, just terrible.
I couldn't believe it's already been 2 years. I was
I
like,
know.
"Damn it." I felt like
I
I just heard
know.
that story, and it was right before the sister's wedding, and, just talk
Terrible,
about
terrible.
yeah, terrible
Yeah,
all
and to
around,
see
but
his wife there, still supporting, obviously, I'm sure she's so close with those guys, but to have the kids involved, I thought was just super neat, and to skate around the rink holding his jersey.
I love it. I love it. Well, he's looking down, very proud of everybody, all the boys,
Very
so
proud. And Presidential Medal of Freedom to the goalie, Connor Hellebuyck. How cool is that?
I thought that was awesome. I saw a lot of hate comments on social media. Of course, there always is about, well, why does he get it? And I actually looked up, what were the qualifications, and it was saying like artists, even like singers and sports players got it. So I thought he was well deserving of it. Obviously, he just brought home the gold. But I saw. Athletes like Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, and Billie Jean King, they had all won it, and I definitely think he can sit within that kind of that hierarchy up there.
Totally. Great company to be with. And I agree. I mean, this is one of those things where, and I know you hear it, but I truly believe that sports brings people together and should. I mean, it's a whole country, again, regardless of your political views, regardless
Mhm.
of any of your, value, whatever, like sports is something where all that should be aside. And they're representing the US and it's a huge accomplishment. And yeah, I agree.
Well, that's why I always think like sports in general. I have played sports my whole life, but I think every kid should be involved with it. It not only teaches you, like grit, resilience, things along those lines, but also teaches you to collaborate and be a team player and things like that. And that'll set you up for life.
And just having to interact with people of all walks of life, not from the
Mm-hmm.
same background as you, just
Exactly.
so many different things.
Good
I totally
sportsmanship,
agree with that. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
which a lot of people
Some
lack
people
these
need to
days.
learn a little bit more of. Okay, did I miss something? Obviously, so Trump invited the men's, the women's declined, and they politely declined. They said,
How do you politely decline?
well, it wasn't the way I interpreted it was it wasn't a stance. They were like they seemed overly grateful. They appreciated the recognition and they blamed it on previously scheduled like academic and professional commitments. Their statement that came out, I thought was not like bashing, but then of course everything I read aside of that was like, oh, they're just completely, he invited them after he had already told the men that he would be impeached if he didn't
Have a
invite
sense
the
of
women's team.
humor.
I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, if you're invited to go to the White House
The
and
White
be with the
House,
president
the
and
president
of the United States,
of the
where
United
your tax
States.
dollars are going, you're living here, you're being part of all the, why do you decline that? And feel like it's not just in this instance. It happens all the time when, baseball players win World Series or but different teams win national championships or the Super Bowl or whatever it is, and they turn it down. I just think it's in such poor form, regardless of who the president is.
I mean, it is ungrateful, it is unappreciative. I think you lack any type of team spirit. I mean, don't get me started. I just think it's very disrespectful. I don't care what academic or prior engagements you had to attend, nothing trumps going to meet
Literally
Trump.
trumps. Yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah. And well, and again, not even if regardless of who is the president at the time and what side you sit on, I just feel like it's a respect thing. And how often do you get invited to go to the
You
White House?
don't.
Just the
You don't.
experience, just to be able to go there, walk through those doors, go to the Oval Office or whatever it is, or in last night's case, go to the State of the Union address. And how cool was that? That they walk, again, regardless of your side, that they had their gold medals on, they walked in, to the floor essentially, just, down the stairs, showed
Yeah.
their gold medals, got their round of applause, left. Like, what a cool experience.
Well, did you see most or not, I will not say most, but did you see a lot of the people didn't stand even for them? And then Trump was like, come on, you guys. Like, they
Yeah,
just, like, stop making this political. They
right. And it's
just
just
worked their
not.
ass off and brought
Right.
home the gold.
And again, are representing the US collaboratively. Like, they have nothing
Hmm.
to do with Trump, nothing to do with anything. They're just playing their sport, representing our country. And yeah, I wasn't. So on the flip side, Flava Flav, did you see that? He invited the
Flavor
women's
Flav.
team to a party in Vegas. And then he followed up saying that he wants to bring all US female Olympic medalists and Paralympic medalists to this party. He's like, I'm the official hype man. I'm going to throw this massive party. One night, all Olympian medalists invited. So
Well,
let's see if they
we
show up
gotta
to
get an
that.
invite. They
Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But I would choose a
The
visit to the
White
White House.
House
But
over
that's
Flava Flav.
that is
He's
just mean.
so lost. I don't know where he went, where he's been non-existent for a while, but I mean, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. But we'll see. 7.7 million viewers was the most watched women's hockey game on record. Pretty
Did
impressive.
do you see how many watched the men's?
An insane amount. What was it, like 18?
18.6 million, and it was like before 9 a.m.
Yeah, the most watched pre 9 a.m. Eastern time sporting event on record in the US. I mean, that is a stat.
I was trying to think like what really inspired that. I mean, again, I know Canada and US, they're obviously you think they're going to be on 51st state now after it's
I
like
saw so
a
many memes about that. Like, we beat you in the sport that you created. Like, we are your daddy now, so you might as well be a state.
It was like I kind of feel bad. They only have like hockey and like syrup, but we have some
And
good syrup.
curling.
Oh,
No,
curling.
and
That's
don't
right.
don't don't forget
Apologies.
about the curling.
Don't want to mess with them on their curling. They will catch you cheating.
No, exactly. Something else that I thought was interesting throughout the Olympics and highlighted in the final, but the organist at the hockey game is actually a well-known organist from LA. His name's Dieter Rule. And I guess he's the organist, longtime organist for the Dodgers and the Kings, and has done multiple previous Olympics. And there are so many stadiums now, the majority of them, where they rely on pre-recorded playlists and music, to kind of hype the crowd up and,
Hmm.
get the energy. But the fact that he does it live and keeps the vibe, brings the energy, mixes up the beat. I just thought it was so cool. Like, you don't really think about that part of it, but the fact that he was live and doing that.
Well, that's what I was thinking because obviously, I'm trying to plan my wedding and everything, and I want bagpipes in Ireland. But low key, I need a freaking organist to go along with it. Maybe like a saxophone, like all live music. I mean, it's gonna be lit.
Bring him in. He's from LA. I mean, I love it.
Gotta go knock on his door. He's probably
Knock
not
on
cheap,
his
but
door. No, but I just thought that was really interesting, and I really like the sound of organs. I know it's a random instrument, but they
they
carry
remind
a
me of
tune.
church. Yeah, they're like,
Yes, but I like it in
ooh,
that
like,
sense too.
yeah,
Yes, and
very dramatic. Adds a
they
lot
are
of like
dramatic.
drama and like, I
I
don't
can
know.
just
I
hear him
love the vibe.
now in your Irish castle, the doors open and you're in your white dress, and the organ just
Just
like bangs,
It's
and then you come down.
banging. I'm
Exactly.
banging down the aisle. There we go.
Sets you on
Well,
your way.
I'm gonna have to hit this guy up.
Another thing that was brought to light that I had never really thought of before was that coaches don't get gold medals.
That was honestly when you had mentioned it, I looked into it and I was like, "Oh, that's actually a fascinating fact." But
It really is. And people are so riled up about it.
I don't I obviously read a couple things about it, just try to understand more. I think it's a very high honor to be a coach and be able to say, "Oh, I coach gold medalists, Olympians." I think that is speaks and telling and everything. And most coaches also were athletes, so they probably had the opportunity to perform at that level. But I also know in instances where, again, I played basketball my whole life. There's a lot of girls that I played with that actually turned in to be better coaches than they were actual
Yeah.
players. So then they don't get to revel in, oh, I actually won the gold. But I don't know if maybe because there's such, you know, giving people and want to make sure that their athletes are, performing to the best of their ability and giving that it their all. I think that could be rewarding enough. I don't know. I'm not a coach, so I don't know what's rewarding for them and what's not, but
Well, I get that it's the athletes, it's their talent. They're the ones performing, they're the ones out there. Obviously, they get the gold. I also think that there are so many athletes and so that are getting these medals, they can't give one to every single person's coach. Like that would just I see that. But for a team like the US hockey, I feel like for some reason it's just fitting. Or soccer in the summer Olympics, it's just something like that. Team sport, basketball, I feel like they should get one.
I don't disagree. I feel like a lot of money's put into it, so might as well spend a extra few bucks here
Yeah,
to
and I guess it could be a cost thing that crossed my mind. But there are only 6 grams of real gold in the gold medals. I'm just talking about that since it's obviously the highest medal, but, um, 6 grams of real gold, and the rest is just plated. So it's not even that expensive by the if you were, taking all things into consideration, the cost could not be something as a big part of the reason.
well, they should just make, like, a coach's medal and a player's medal. I don't know.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
You could have, just I compare my, I get really competitive, so, again, I don't know what a coach is if I was a coach, I'd be like, "I want a freaking medal, like, I freaking deserve that." I put my athlete out there and gave them the confidence to absolutely annihilate, but, just running my half marathon, I was like, "Oh my god, I got a medal," whatever,
Yeah.
that I bit out of, but it was in, like it was like it was like, around it was purple, and it says, like, half marathon, and then I saw these real guys who were wearing, like, it said blue and it said marathon. I was like, "Ugh, now I'm embarrassed because now I
Right,
only
mine
have
said
the
half.
purple
Yeah,
one." Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
So I don't know if I was a coach, if it would want it, like, labeled coach instead of player, I don't know, so
Well, what
it's
struck me
all
was when the US hockey coach was asking one of the players, like, "Can I see the medal? Can I hold it?" That would be kind of weird. They're all celebrating with their gold medals and you don't never seen one before, you don't get one. I don't know,
I
but
think yeah, I don't know. That's,
they'll have
I
to
think
put us in charge of the Olympic Committee too.
so I'm medals, but also you don't want medals for everyone, these
Right,
days where
because not
every
everybody gets a
participants get
medal, and I
yes.
am fully behind that. Like, no, not everybody in little league, not everyone in little soccer, whatever
No
it
one
is,
needs a
pee-wee
medal.
football, whatever you like. Yes, there are winners and there are losers, and if you don't win, you do not get a medal. But they won, their team won, so they
Yeah.
essentially should. There was a really cool story behind the women's hockey coach's vintage jacket. Did you see it was like a white USA jacket with like the lettering? Um, Allegedly, he found it on eBay, and it once belonged to the US hockey president, Walter Bush.
Mm.
And, like, what are the chances of that? Which, like, I don't know, like, if this is actually for real, but if it is, that's really interesting that this women's Olympic hockey coach buys this jacket off eBay. Happens to be Walter Bush's jacket, and Walter Bush helped women's hockey become an official sport for the Winter Games, in 1998.
Talk about full circle coincidence there.
I thought that was another little cool storyline. Let's talk about your favorite athlete, Eileen Gu.
Oh god. When I call her Lou
Actually,
Sue
on the
Goo.
yeah, on the you can't no, don't get her confused with Lou because we've got Alysa Liu, and
That
she
is right,
has
that is right.
now
No disrespect to her.
surpassed Eileen Gu on Instagram after her gold medal win. She had like 211,000 followers, and now she has 5.3 million followers.
Because she bleeds red, white, and blue, baby.
She absolutely does, and she was the first American to win Olympic figure skating gold since 2002.
I had no idea who this girl was. She
At
has
all.
easily become one of my favorite people.
I agree, and it doesn't have to be a line in the sand like Lou or Goo, but I'm going Lou because I thought her story was so good, and she is somebody who equally could have represented China,
China, probably more
and
so
she
than
did it,
Eileen could have.
and, um she's not the traditional mold of a figure skater. She doesn't look like a traditional figure skater, and that is part of the reason why I am fully behind her.
I thought she was gonna follow the, typical track of we don't wanna represent USA, and to be completely honest, I completely misjudged her just by the way she looked. She has the piercings and she's got,
Mhm.
like, the dyed hair and everything,
By
and
the way, she pierced that herself. Did you know that?
I did notice. I did see that because then she posted a picture and it was, like, her smiling with it, and I was like, "Dad, that's not hurt," but
I know. It, like,
good.
hurts me to, like, watch, but yeah. But she does, and her hair too, that takes time. I guess she does one of those rings every year, so this wasn't just for the
Hell yeah.
Olympics, like, she's
Oh,
worked years to get these rings.
I
Anyways.
mean I guess that does make sense to kinda if it grows out, or is that
Yeah,
the deal?
exactly. That's exactly right.
Interesting, okay, and then I
Mhm.
saw she's, like, an anime fan, so I was like, "Oh, this girl." I don't know, again, I prejudged her, and that was completely on me because she absolutely killed it, and then to hear her story and, to hear people talk about, like, how her training and everything, she was the type of girl that, would fall and fall and fall and fall and be like, "One more time, one more time, one more time, one more time," and you don't see a lot of 20-year-olds these days with that kinda, the resilience.
Totally, and just her story from the start. So the dad flees China and comes here by himself, has 5 children via surrogate. That's a lot to take on as a father, in San Francisco, right? Um, at 13, she's the youngest US national champion ever, and I guess was just miserable, like, being told exactly what to do at all times. The dad was, like, hovering, doing everything, like, dieting, routine, workouts, everything, and she quit. She was like, "I feel like have no autonomy. None of this is mine." Basically quit, retired, was done with it, dyed her hair, traveled, went to school, and then in 2024, she went skiing, and I guess something in her, like, clicked and was like, "I haven't had this feeling since I was, on the ice," and so she put it all back together on her own terms, chose her own music, her own look, everything on her own, like you're saying, trained, trained, trained on her own, got up again, and now she's a gold medalist.
Hell yeah, that's the American dream right there.
It really is, and they when she was in the Chinese Olympics, that was her first time going to China, and they had to have security because they had Chinese spies. I mean, the whole thing is just
I saw
insane.
that. I saw that, and I was like, "Has Eileen even been to China?" No, I'm just kidding. I thought that was a really, really inspiring story.
Incredible. Just so glad for her, and even if this is the end of the road, which it doesn't probably seem like it, just to get to this
No.
point and to have others know that that's her story, and like you said, the resilience and her own identity. She could have easily got up there and pulled a Hunter Hess or somebody that, makes a stance on something, and she didn't. She just stayed neutral. She was classy, and I think it's gonna come around tenfold for her.
That's how she gained 5 over
Million
5,000,000
followers.
followers. That's gotta be I can't think of any even influencer, anybody that has gained that many followers in that short amount of time.
I agree, and I think that there's probably so many sponsorships and things to come from this. I'm just so happy for her and for, her dad. He hasn't had the easiest path either. Did you see Eileen? She's like, "The reason I love records so much is it's not about man or woman. I'm the most decorated free skier of all time, male or female." She kills me. Why do you even have to say that? It's not about male, man, or woman. I'm the most decorated free skier of all time, male or female. If you say, I am the most decorated free skier of all time, that accounts for men and women. If you say, I am the greatest in history, you're the greatest in history, whether it's men or women, male, female, whatever. Like, I can't with her.
I have seen her more and more interviews come out about her, and she is probably one of the most cringe people I've ever heard spoke. Like, she thinks she is the most educated,
Ugh.
well-spoken, puts herself on a pedestal individual, like, laughs down on everybody's questions, uses words I don't even think she knows the goddamn definition of. She just throws out all these big
I
words, and
started to
every
question
other
that too.
I'm
I'm like,
like,
if that's like her,
"Buzzwords?" Like
right. I'm like, if you're having to say the most decorated free skier of all time, and then you have to say male or female, like you already made the statement about of all time that puts in both categories. Yeah. And she had another thing like Djokovic was all about it and like praising her for what she said in an interview about how sports, like you're either doing it or you're not. It's not like a thought, like you're proving yourself out there every single day and you're either winning or you're not, or whatever it was. I couldn't listen to it after 5 seconds, but
I genuinely don't know what kind of people support her, but I tell you, they are not my friend.
persona non grata. But, anyways, well, the Olympics is wrapped up. That was fun. I guess we'll have the Summer Olympics to look forward to next.
Who won the most gold medals? Was it Norway?
Yes, which is so surprising to me because it's such a small country, and I can see obviously Norway, you'd think that it would translate to winter
Winter?
sports,
Yeah.
but just to still be that small of a country and win that many medals is impressive and have that many good athletes.
Weren't they in the listing? They don't even pay their athletes any money for gold or silver, bronze, or anything like that.
They should,
I was gonna say, I mean, that would be more motivation. They'd probably triple our gold medals.
totally. But yeah, I mean, they won by a significant amount
Yeah.
of medals, like, it was pretty impressive.
No, I
And by
thought so
the
too.
way, you were absolutely correct last week about hearing the A word amputation for Lindsey Vonn. Could you
I know I didn't want to
imagine?
throw that word out. I didn't want to mess around with it because it's such a freaking extreme word. But yeah, I those X-rays.
Nearly
Holy
lost
crap.
her leg, and she came out and said it. I mean, if it wasn't for her doctors and surgeons and the timeliness and just horrific to think about. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the
I
X-rays were
pray for a
insane.
speedy recovery. Gosh, there was more metal in there than I've ever seen.
Yeah, nails and rods. Ugh. I hope she recovers and hopefully, again, I don't like to have to see people quit, but it might be time for her to not take those chances again.
Yeah. Uh, where does she go in like the TSA line? Can she go through one of those things now, or I think she's gonna have to be rolled
And you have
through?
to do separate. Yeah, I
Do
think
you
you
have
have,
to do
yeah,
separate? I
if you
don't
have a
know.
certain amount of,
If that's
but
not inconvenient, I don't know
I'm
what
sure she's
is.
flying private. So
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say.
not an issue. Um, Bringing it back here a little bit, Andy Roddick is set to be an announcer and has signed a deal with ESPN for starting this year for Wimbledon and US Open, multi-year deal. Obviously, he's built a lot of momentum, commentating, talking with his podcast Served, which I think has been successful. I can't stand him. Like, he's the last person I want to hear talking about tennis. I didn't like him on the court. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he had his attitude. I understand he was young. I understand he was good. American athlete, great. All of that. Have to respect him for winning. I don't like to listen to him.
I think I only like his wife. Is he still married to that blonde chick that was
Yes,
in
Brooklyn
yeah,
Decker.
Brooklyn
Hmm.
Decker? I like her. Yeah, I don't really care for him as much. I think with his podcast Served, he maybe became a little bit more relatable to the younger generation who didn't
Hmm.
grow up watching him play live. So maybe that's why he's a little bit more popular. He really shows his like character and personality and things like that. But yeah, he's a pompous ass.
He totally is. And again, now they live in North Carolina, but for a long time they were here in Austin and would see him all the time. And even
Oh, he
growing up
lived here?
training, yeah.
Ew.
And lived on Lake Austin for a while and then they moved out, Bee Caves a little bit. But just never really fit in. Everywhere he went, he had an attitude. It's just not the way Austin works. And at the end of the day, who cares? Like, you're a tennis player. And,
Everybody's
Brooklyn
somebody
Decker for
here.
a while, right? Brooklyn Decker for a while. I mean, she had her own Sports Illustrated and everyone knew
Mhm.
her too, but she just kind of always seemed more down to earth and always heard great
100%.
things about her. But he caused trouble at the country club, like literally got like blacklisted at ACC for a while. And then he went
Makes
out
me
to
wanna be
Spanish
even
Coach, I
more of
think,
a
for a little
member.
bit. I mean, yeah, exactly. Just didn't quite listen down there in North Carolina, and I just feel also, he's such a has-been at this point, like, are we picking from that far back for a ESPN commentator for current? Like, I just you're to your point, I think the podcast really must have helped with this because I just don't see that from when he retired until now, he's the best and only choice to have on ESPN for Wimbledon and US Open? I don't know. Is that just me?
I don't well, I was thinking about it and I was like, who else could they have chosen to be more suitable? But I couldn't think of anybody because
Well,
again,
and
he
this
can relate. He's like got that
you can
podcast. He's
talk, yeah.
chatty. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. Obviously, hatred causes a lot of people to tune into stuff these days. So
Well, and I don't even think he's hated. I think he's all pretty much well liked. It's just me
mm,
giving my opinion, not that people probably want to listen to me talk either.
I think
But
a lot of people agree with us on a lot of
no,
stuff, though. Maybe just won't
I
say
think so
it.
too. And it could be anyone in the world. That's my thing. It could be, and it could have been a male or female. It doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, Federer is not going to do that. He has got way more going on.
No,
And so I feel
that's what
like
I
this
was
is probably a
thinking.
second cycle for him of wanting to pick it up, like a lot of football players do later on, come
Yeah.
back around to
Tom Brady.
commentating. Yeah, but even he's more current, like career wise.
That's
But
true. No, that's
yeah, but
true.
to your,
He cracks
I
me up.
agree. Maybe there wasn't a better choice, but we'll see how that goes. And Emma Raducanu, Uniqlo's new brand ambassador, I really like her.
She is I think she's absolutely stunning, beautiful, carries herself well, but what is the Uni brand? Uniqlo?
Uniqlo,
Uniqlo? What
yes.
is it? I
So it kind of
genuinely
got on the map when Federer left Nike after all those years and went to Uniqlo. And since they've, had
is it like an
more athletes.
Asian brand?
Yeah.
I've
It
never seen
is.
a store. What, like, do stores exist, or is it like an
They
online
do, but I
platform?
don't know. I mean, I'm sure like in New York, LA, but not, but it is massive. I mean, it's a massive, massive
That's what
brand.
yeah.
And she was Nike previously too, forever. And that's part of the reason that she was on my radar, but now I guess she's gonna get 3.5 million a season, from Uniqlo. But another example of these younger athletes expanding to not the traditional brands, which is hard to say not traditional after Federer, but Federer was one of their first and obviously biggest, um, brand ambassadors, but very interesting kinda to
Well,
see where they go with that. But I saw her in a blue tennis dress and just very classy, simple. It looked good. It's nice to have more people in the market than the traditional.
yeah, I was gonna say, well, every brand these days is rebranding to be tennis, ski, all these athletic brands, because I think sports is becoming more and more popular with the woman having an upward trend in
Yeah,
viewers. So it's a good market to definitely capitalize on.
totally. Riviera looked like a successful tournament. Weather turned around after the
It's been
initial
raining.
rain. I
Yeah, it was
know.
like pouring all week, and then all on my Instagram. Every story I saw was everybody and their brother there. So it looked like a beautiful, sunny, sun shining time.
It really did. So Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Rory McIlroy have a combined 32 starts at Riviera and 0 wins. How wild is that? Between the 3 of
I
them,
I had
32
to
and
Google
0
that.
wins.
That's like a really wild stat. I
I
mean,
mean, 3 of the best golfers ever with that many starts at Riv and no such luck.
I don't even know what the reason behind that is. It's just a definitely an interesting stat, especially Tiger. I feel like
I
he
know.
lives there. Like,
No, I thought that was interesting, but Tiger was obviously there and hanging out with the Lakers. Did you see that?
I did. I like
Okay.
Tiger.
I really, really like Tiger. He's getting cozy with Vanessa. Love to see that too.
He cracks me up. Obviously, I feel like some people are like controversial about Tiger because of his past and
Mm.
everything, but I mean, I think he's a freaking legend, and I think Vanessa Trump, she is awesome as well. Looks great for having however many kids she had with Donald Trump, and I'm sure Donald Trump Jr., excuse me, but I'm sure that he causes a lot of stress in her life as well. So she's aging gracefully.
She really has. I think they're just such a cute little couple. And you can tell they kind of try to keep as private as they can, but they're also like semi impossible to keep that private when
Absolutely.
you're both of them. But um yeah, I like to see that. The Lakers attended as part of their team genius talks. So LeBron asked Tiger, "Is it
Ugh.
harder?" I know, of course. I'm like, of course. I don't even want to
Ugh.
hear what he had to say to him because Tiger's well above. But
Hmm.
no, LeBron asked Tiger, "Is it harder to climb to number one in your sport or stay at number one once you get there?"
Ugh, I just LeBron asked it, so that's what's the annoying part, but
I know, but then I
I'm
was
also
curious about
like,
the
LeBron, you can't even I feel like again, I won't discredit team sports because there's a lot that goes into it, but, like, he's not an individual contributor that holds
but
number
he
1
thinks he
himself.
is. That's the
No,
thing. But I 100% agree with your point. It's night and day. It's a
it's
team versus
totally
an
different
individual. Yeah.
than Tiger Woods being number 1 and having the mental strength to stay at number 1. You know, those are different Like,
and
you
get there.
can't
You don't
rely on
have people
anybody
right.
else.
If you're
Yeah.
injured and you need to sit out for 5 games, Tiger didn't do that. He did, and he suffered the consequences and is having trouble, coming back from it. Like, you don't
10
have
back
anyone else to
surgeries
step in.
later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Tiger's response was both have their challenges, but once you're there, you have everyone chasing you, which causes a lot of pressure. I can see that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, LeBron wanted to answer his own question.
Absolutely.
And
He teed it up for himself. He
exactly.
makes everything about himself, so
Yeah.
no
And
surprise.
he thought that maintaining excellence and the grind it takes year after year, time after time with competition, the rising expectations, is the toughest part for longevity. But I agree to your point. When you've got a whole team helping you stay there.
You have yeah, it's I don't know,
But I
speaks
will say his
volumes.
stats are individual stats, right? Like if somebody's measuring a basketball player, you look at their stats, like their rebounds or baskets or
Absolutely.
and so he's making
But
those. Like
some
you
of
can
that
still
is being
say
in the right place at the right time,
mhm,
and you've got teammates to kinda dish it off to you, assist, things like that.
yeah.
Again, I
No, I
I,
agree, and I'm just that kinda like at some point he's still very he's just not Kobe or Jordan, but it's okay.
he's not I mean, LeBron's been around a lot longer, and Kobe had a not because Kobe passed away, and that was a very
Right.
unfortunate thing. I meant just in general playing sports, like, he has had, like, a longer, like, go, I think, just in
Mhm.
terms of his like, the length of him playing, where Kobe, I feel like, came up hot and then kinda, like,
Yeah, it was
declined
a
a little
quicker
bit.
career.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, if that makes sense, but again, I love Kobe.
Just his attitude and everything else about him
The
just
whole
made it more lasting than I think
Exactly.
LeBron. Yeah,
That's what's gonna make
like
him a legend and
timeless.
LeBron
Yeah.
not. Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my
There
mouth.
there you go. Um, but Jacob Bridgman won Riv, beating out some really good players. That was his first PGA win. That was good for him. But Tommy Fleetwood, have you been seeing him? He's been repping whatever he wants to wear. He was with Nike for 16 years and his contract is up. And so he's just been wearing like pro shop gear. At Pebble, he was wearing Pebble stuff, not restricted to any brand. So literally, like, borrowed some Malbon stuff from somebody, like Pebble merch, Viore, Sunday Red, just really mix it out. I kind of like that.
Just absolute legend. No, I fully support it. I mean, you gotta show off all the freaking badass courses you're playing.
That, but also probably raising his stock of, like, people wanting to sign him, just, like, wearing all their gear and giving them, a minute to see what that feels like for him to be wearing their stuff, but, um, I just kinda like it that he's mixing it up. You see him in different things. It's not like Scotty Scheffler, he's gonna come out with his traditional Nike kit for
Yeah.
every single tournament. So to see, Fleetwood, who's such a cool guy to begin with, um, just
I
mixing
love
it all up, I think
golfers.
it yeah,
Golfers are so awesome. They
I
just
love
don't give
them.
a fuck
They do not, and the
sometimes.
whole, like, culture around it, I just think it's great. I'll be curious to see where he lands, but for now, I think he's enjoying too, just wearing whatever he wants. And, Malbon just signed Anthony Kim, speaking of characters and doing whatever they want. Um, I had heard that was in the works, and my dad thought that they had something working and hadn't come to an agreement, and then at his live tournament that he won, obviously, he wears his Under Armour terrible uniform for live, but then he's wearing Malbon socks and Malbon stuff here and there, and he would post Malbon, Malbon would post him. So it kinda seemed like it was inching towards that, but that was official as of today, and so they're coming out with some, like, "Don't fucking quit"
Ah,
line of stuff for him, but
they kinda got that yeah, that edgy
edgy.
streetwear. They're gonna support a cocaine ex-addict, so that's fine.
Exactly,
No
as long as
sh
he's winning. I think it's a really cool brand,
It's
Malbon.
cute. I saw they were on, like, Revolve, and they, like, have some like, the bucket hats, like, they're super, like, LA inspired, I feel like, again,
Very,
emphasizing
and
on that streetwear, but
very, totally trying to tap into the culture of golf, like we said, it's such a, lifestyle now and trend, and it's a relatively young company. I mean, it was founded in 2017 by Stephen Malbon and his wife, Erica, which is cool that, they're a team and they kind of wanted to reframe how golf looked and felt. And they have, they were more lifestyle over performance and they did a lot of collaborations, but their marketing and their design, I feel like is just getting more and more elevated. Like you said, it's on Revolve and some higher end things, but very LA. When they first started coming out and I would see people wearing it, literally looked like, the Marlboro, like, cigarette carton on a big graphic T-shirt, like, stuff that was just so insanely loud. I was like, "This is never gonna work." And then they started toning it down, I feel like, and kinda getting a little bit more refined, even, like, the women's skirts, like, have really nice lines, really nice, slits. I like their, scripty logo.
Well, I told you, even, like, it's giving, like, Lacoste vibes.
Yes, that's the perfect equivalent with a little bit more edge and
Mm,
a little bit more current, but I think that's a good, parallel. I just think it's really, really cool. Very LA.
good for Anthony.
You
Let's
go,
keep it going.
AJ. Brogan's waiting for you to win again before she gives you a pat on the back.
I am tough crowd over here.
Tough, tough crowd. And Tiger has reportedly been given a soft deadline, which is set for before the Masters to see if he'll be the Ryder Cup captain for 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor.
In Ireland.
Yes. Fabulous little spot, but I think there could not be a better captain, and I don't know why he would turn that down.
I if he accepts, I will have to get married there just as, good showing.
Yes. I would love to see him be captain, and having the Ryder Cup there will just be so cool. Speaking of legends in LA, so on February 24th, just earlier this week, Vanessa Bryant unveiled the new Kobe and Vanessa Bryant family court at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach.
That was
And the date honors Kobe's number 24 and Gianna's number 2, which is why they did it on
mhm.
224.
Oh,
And
cute. I didn't think
yeah,
about that.
so sweet. The hospital is where they delivered their 4 daughters, so it obviously has a special place in their heart. But I thought that was a really, really nice, thoughtful tribute.
I absolutely agree, and being from Orange County and growing up in that area, I think that's really special. I wanna go when I have my kid, go deliver it there, but I did see Hoag also just put
A little Cali
opened
baby?
up at the well, yeah, I'm not even born in California, which is surprising, but
Where were you born?
I was born in Colorado,
Oh my
so
gosh, broken.
I know, but I moved to Orange County when I was 2, so it's, I still consider myself a SoCal baby. But they actually just opened up a health center in San Clemente where I'm from too, so I need to go check it out.
Very cool. So I guess next on our sports up and coming is baseball. Baseball spring training's underway and collegiate baseball is underway.
By the way, I feel like I've been seeing you frequent some college baseball games. How's UT looking?
Actually, they're crushing. They're doing really well. Coach is very well liked. They're doing well. No, I only went to the first one.
Oh,
But it's fun. They're actually really nice. It's a great stadium. It's a nice atmosphere. I like baseball more so in person than on TV. Um,
100%. I love the atmosphere and the hot dogs and the beer.
there are so many games in baseball that it is unreal, especially
It
professional.
lasts a while too.
It's insane, yeah. But as it gets further on in the season and inches towards the World Series, like I love the World Series.
You wanna know a little fun fact about me?
I sure do. Now that I know you were
This
born in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, here's another and I'm a horrible skier. No, I'm getting better, but TBD. Uh, baseball, I played baseball growing up. I was a huge tomboy, and my brother was playing, I think I was in AAA, and he was in the majors or whatever the little league status is, I forget, but anyway, I was the only girl. There's 3 other girls, I was one of 3. I had my little pigtails and everything, but guess who had the highest batting average in against all of the boys?
I'm gonna go with Brogan.
Moi. I couldn't.
That is impressive.
I couldn't hit the ball, but I ran varsity
So not
track,
even
so I could
softball,
freaking
straight up baseball.
straight up baseball. There's no like underarm little pitches. No, we're going full throttle. I was first base. I was center field. I was tall, but I was fast. So I'd hit a
I
little, I'd
love
like
it.
bunt it over to like the third baseline, and then I'd just sprint to first, and those frickers couldn't even pass the ball or like throw the ball fast enough,
That is
faster than me
amazing.
touching the
So why
base.
did we give this up?
I think the boys started getting too big, and it
A
just
little stronger, a
they
little
were throwing
different.
a little too fast for me.
You're
So
like, I'm worried about my face
that's
getting
exactly.
hit.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to get hit in the face. So exactly, that actually did happen to me. I was playing catch with my dad, and he just straight to the face, and had to go to the hospital. And my mom was pissed. So I think that was kind of the end of it.
Oh, gee, yeah. It's insane when these guys get hit with those pitches in the leg or the arm. I can't even imagine what that would feel like. But they act
Oh,
like
it's
it's
like
nothing. But
100 mile
there's
per
some
hour.
manly men.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
Well,
no.
I like
So
that fun fact.
yeah.
Thank you for
So
enlightening us with that.
of course.
Then another win for women's sports. ESPN will replace MLB Sunday Night Baseball with a full lineup of women's sports. At least for the summer, I think, outings or series for Sunday Night Baseball, but it'll be WNBA and National Women's Soccer League. We can
That's
watch
gonna
our
get everybody
Boston
fired up.
legacy. Yeah. And you'd probably know why, because it's Sunday night. Not like it's a prime time, but
I mean, everybody loves Sunday night football, so maybe
okay,
it'll
there we
translate.
go. All right, let's
I
do some
don't,
Sunday
but
night women's soccer. I like it.
that sounds really boring. I'm not gonna lie. But let's
That's
go
true.
Boston
Sunday night
legacy.
is a big spot for football, but also different. Yeah, time of year, time of everything. It's summer. Things
When
get a
does
little
White
bit
Lotus come
sleepier.
out?
I don't
That's
know.
what I
I'm
was
not a White
trying to
Lotus
think.
watcher.
Huh?
Did you say White Lotus?
Yeah.
I don't watch White Lotus.
That's why I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked.
No, I'm excited for my Thomas Shelby and Peaky Blinders movie coming out. I'm a gangster, Brogan.
Okay. Well, just watch White Lotus. It's about rich people getting kind of screwed, but it's hilarious. I love it. But
I
that's what I look forward to on Sunday nights. That's kind of the only show I'd ever look forward to. But I
okay,
don't know
so
when that.
it's not gonna replace with women's sports.
No, it's not. That's where I was going with that. So.
Making sure that the schedules don't align. Too funny. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll have to try it again. I know everyone loves it. Even people that I wouldn't think love it, like my brother. But I watched maybe a half of the first episode. I'm like, this is too weird. Like, I don't know. It just,
Have an open mind. It's
I,
artistic, creative.
okay. Like I said, I'm a gangster. Okay.
Okay.
Need something.
Do you watch Industry? I need to start watching Industry.
No.
I think it's on Apple. I don't know, but I think it's another gangster movie.
Oh, goodness. All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll let you know how my match goes tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know time and place.
Bring me my AG1.
I will bring you it and you will win.
There we go. The formula to success.
Ta-ta!
Ciao. Adios.
Ciao! Shit, I forgot the rest of mine. What's synonymous? What's more? Goodbye.
Bye.